Hey, welcome to World Entertainment, and believe it or not, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is almost upon us. That's right, it actually drops this month, which you would never think it because they really aren't promoting this thing all that much. But they're now saying the quiet part out loud, which has pretty much just confirmed that this thing is DOA because Marvel has confirmed that Born Again Season 2 is about Trump and ICE. Yeah. That's the direction they've decided to go in, because the first season under Disney's leadership was such a riveting success, it was an absolute disaster, that they decided, hey, you know what we should definitely do with season 2? Let's make it an allegory for Trump and ICE and all that bullshit. So let's take a look at this. So it's saying Marvel is no longer dancing around it. The studio behind Daredevil Born Again has openly confirmed that Season 2 draws direct parallels to President Trump and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, leaning fully into real-world politics inspiration as part of its storyline. Why would you do that? Absolutely, why would you do that? Let's put it this way, who cares? Who's gonna care? Who's watching it going like, oh my god, yes, tell them what it's really like for the poor immigrants and stuff, you know, the illegals that are running into everybody's countries nowadays, because it ain't just happening in the US. My god, you should see what's happening here right now. So it's the latest in a long series of Marvel properties to lean into modern progressive politics, and if recent history is any indicator, this could prove detrimental to the show's viewership on Disney Plus and public perception of Marvel going into Avengers Doomsday. And that is one of the things they really need to understand here is whatever they shovel down people's throats in this, which is obviously clearly going to try and say the right is bad, left is good, only listen to the left, is you're going to alienate half your audience for Doomsday. And they need everyone they can get. So, speaking with Entertainment Weekly, showrunner Dario Scardapane and executive producer Sana Amanat acknowledged that viewers will clearly see similarities between the show's events and modern politic realities. In other words, Daredevil Born Again is yet another modern TV show about Trump. You know, for someone they hate so much, they really love constantly talking about the guy. It's crazy how that works, isn't it? So Scardapane, or however you pronounce it, I'm probably butchering these names, explained that during post-production the connections became unavoidable, stating that the series entered an art imitates life place. No, all this bullshit is completely avoidable. Do you know how? You don't fucking write it in the first place, because you knew exactly what you were doing. This isn't, oh my god, we just happened to write stuff about like immigration, and wouldn't you know it, Donald Trump backed up what he was saying he would do during his campaign and actually went after illegal immigrants. Well, how were we ever to know? It's like, come on guys, you knew exactly what you were doing. So Season 2 continues Wilson Fisk's rise to power as mayor of New York, where he deploys an anti-vigilante task force that operates in ways directly compared to ICE, complete with raids, detentions, and people being taken off the streets. The visual language reinforces the comparisons as well. Black uniformed agents, unmarked vans, and holding areas resembling cages are all part of the imagery used in the series. Amanat framed the story as one centered on an authoritarian figure weaponizing the system against certain groups, something she says fits squarely with Marvel's tradition of political storytelling. Good God, they really are just trying to cope hard with this. Oh, we were always political. No, you fucking weirdos were always political. The actual stories for Marvel stuff, sure they had politics stuff in there. They weren't always focused on politics. They're about superheroes, for fuck's sake. You know, people who are in space, people who turn into green monsters, people who are essentially gods. Not about politics. So this is just ridiculous. But look, it goes on and on and on that you can obviously read, but the fact that they are flat out coming out and saying this, it's like they know that as soon as people see it, they're just gonna go, oh, you just did this on purpose. That they're almost trying to get ahead of it by the sounds of it. But you're killing your show before it ever airs. That's exactly what you've just done. Like, why in God's name would you keep doing this? Seriously, why would you? Could you imagine if all of a sudden shows start coming out that compared stuff, like shit going completely wrong, missions that were disasters and stuff, and they said all of this is a reflection in comparison to Joe Biden? Imagine if the backlash that would happen. Oh, you can't be doing that. Why would you do that type of story? You should be focused on superheroes. Same thing here. Why are you not just focused on Daredevil and Kingpin and stuff like that? Why are you trying to make it go hand in hand with Donald Trump and ICE? Like, it's just so stupid. And it's not like the show was in a great spot to try and do it without any consequences, because again, that first season was a disaster for them. Like, a total disaster. It charted somewhere like 99th place or something. It was ridiculously like far down, which shocked everybody. But doing this and then coming out and saying that that's what you're doing is just, it's like, you may as well not release it at this stage. You seriously may as well not release it at this stage, because people are just going to look at it and go like, well, if that's what it's all about, I'm not watching it. Are you seriously, ask yourself now, knowing that this is what it's going to be about, that Kingpin is basically going to be Trump and the anti-vigilante task force is going to be ICE, and they did that specifically on purpose, knowing that that's what they're trying to shovel down your throat and trying to tell you how if you are with these people or against it, blah blah blah, you're evil or you're this or you're that, whatever. Does that make you go, oh, I need to sit down and watch this? That's going to be great entertainment. Is that seriously what they think is going to happen? Sure, you'll get the lunatics who will watch it and of course will praise and say, oh my God, this is the show we needed. Oh, it's telling the truth of what's actually happening, blah blah blah. Nobody cares. People just want to watch this shit to be entertained. That's all. They don't want to be lectured to anymore. We're sick of it. Stop with this crap. Seriously, stop. When Trump comes out of office and if a Democrat, whoever the Democrat might be, takes over and they start making shows blasting the Democrat president, are you going to have to say kind of, this is the show we needed, these are the actual things that... No, you're going to blast and say, oh, it's just a far-right messaging propaganda show. That's what'll happen. Nobody wants politics in their shows. We just want to be entertained. It's not that hard. It's not difficult at all. But for some reason, they can't figure it out. And then they scratch their heads all the time and go, why did it fail? It must just be incels and basement dwellers and far-right Nazis that don't want to watch blah, blah, blah. It's so ridiculous at this stage. We're so over it. So this show, right now, I can tell you this now, I'm not reviewing it this time. I reviewed the first season. I'm not reviewing this one. I couldn't be arsed, especially hearing this shit. So this show and Disney and everyone involved with it can go get fucked, in my opinion. I'm tired of it. So let me know what you guys think. Are you excited to watch a story that is basically Trump and ICE in your superhero show? I bet you can barely contain your excitement for it, but let me know. And will you be watching Daredevil Season 2 of Born Again? Let me know that. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.